Our first guest is one of the most sought-after hair gurus in the business.
Yes.
And over the years, he's worked with everyone from Anne Hathaway and Angelina Jolie to Deborah Messing, Gabrielle Union, and most recently, Lupita Nyong'o.
His work has also appeared in the pages of Vogue, Bazaar, and Vanity Fair, and on the runways for Chanel, Prada, and Dolce & Gabbana.
Wow.
Here to talk about his life in the tresses is the incomparable Ted Gibson.
Hi.
Hey,
how are you?
You like that, life in the tresses.
Yes, it's kind of too much sometimes.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's your life. It's fabulous.
Thank you.
Okay, let's start with Lupita. I mean, she's been looking fabulous from
I
head
have to take
to
a deep breath
toe.
on that one. Wow. I tell you, she's really kind of major, isn't she?
Ted, what's
Yeah.
it been like to work with
It's
her?
been so much fun. You know, I started working with her in the fall for the press for 12 Years a Slave, and it's been kind of a whirlwind ever since.
What was your vision for her look, and did you realize that she would become a style icon so quickly?
I mean, how do you predict it? I don't know if you predict it, but I mean, if you see that performance that she had in 12 Years a Slave as Patsy, you'll notice that that's definitely a star in the making.
Wow.
And, you know, she's such a great woman, you know, and I think that translates on screen, it translates when you meet her, and of course, it's translated on the red carpet.
Well, what's it been like for you to watch her blossom into the style it girl?
Well, you know, it's so much fun. You know, I think that that's one of my specialties because I love to be able to work with a woman in a specific time of her career that can help her become who she wants to be. You know, I think the hair definitely is underestimated because I think hair really changes how a woman feels, as you know.
Yes.
And changes her perspective on her life and changes everything about her.
And one of the cool things is people don't think you could do a lot with short hair, but
I
you
know.
rock every time you see her on the red carpet, they're like slightly different variations
yeah.
of her beautiful
Well, you know what?
hair.
That's what's fun about Lupita is the fact that she's a little, I would say, taking a little bit of risks. And I think women oftentimes don't necessarily take a little bit of risk. You know, I always say that if your hairdresser hasn't changed your hair in a year, switch hairdressers.
Oh, that's a good tip.
Don't change your look, change your dress. Hairdresser.
Yes, change your hairdresser.
Okay.
I love
Well, who
it.
else is getting it right on the red carpet this season?
Well, you know what? I think there are a lot of girls, of course, without a doubt, Cate Blanchett. You know, there have been a few girls, I would say, on the red carpet this season has been talked about, and the ones who are, of course, you know, up for all the awards because they are taking it to the next level. And what's great, I think, about this award season in particular is that girls are really feeling their own. You know, I don't think it's contrived. I think that it's super chic, but not so far out that people can't relate to it. And I think that's one of the things about Lupita is that she's relatable. You're seeing white women relate to her, you're seeing black women relate to her, you're seeing women of all ethnicities relating to Lupita because she has that kind of allure.
Yeah, she's aspirational but
Yes.
accessible at the same time.
Absolutely.
That's a very hard
It's a hard
trick to pull off.
combination, absolutely.
It really is.
Yeah.
Now, we know a star's image, especially on the red carpet, is everything. And the right haircut can make a career.
Sure.
We've seen it with Rihanna,
Yes.
Jennifer Aniston in the Rachel,
Absolutely.
Rihanna's Bob. I mean, we've seen it time and time
Everything.
again. What is the key to creating that signature look that's going to put you on the map?
I think being open to the process. I think that women sometimes have the idea is that they get stuck into what they think is right. You know, they're still wearing that blue eyeshadow that they wore when they were in college. They haven't veered from that, and I think it's important to veer from that. Listen to someone who really cares about you, that can guide you in the right direction so that you can become that icon, whether you live in, you know, Oklahoma City or you live in Atlanta or Los Angeles. I do think it's important to always be open to the process of change and be open to the process of how your beauty potential can be, because that's what we're doing.
Now, when we last hung out, it was at the shoot for Gabby Douglas for the cover of Essence magazine. There was so much controversy surrounding her ponytail at the Olympics. Why do you think there was such a backlash? What did you make of that? And what did you want to do with her hair stylistically that would sort of elevate her to the next glamour level?
Well, I think sometimes women of color have a tendency maybe to over-relax, or they have a tendency to not do it at home, or maybe not using the right products. So in particular, Gabrielle, she was, you know, having a little bit of challenge with her hair. I didn't notice it when she was at the Olympics. I'm, you know, paying attention to her performance and how amazing she was. But, you know, the blogs and everyone was talking so much about how controversial, you know, her hair was. And the fact that I had that opportunity of working with her and helping her, I mean, if you follow her on Instagram, you'll see it's a different Gabrielle than it was then. And I think that hair, again, changes a woman into that same kind of perspective of how she feels and who she wants to be.
It was interesting because I interviewed her the night before the photo shoot.
Yeah.
So I saw her with the ponytail, and then I saw her 12 hours later after you'd gotten your hands on her. And it was night and day, not just in terms of appearance, but in her confidence as well. Did you see that transformation?
Of course. She came to the salon. We were there till the wee hours of the morning before the actual shoot. The next day. And I think that, again, there is something about that. There is something about how a woman feels on the outside can reflect on the inside and vice versa. And how she feels on the inside may not be the way she feels on the outside. And it is my job as a beauty guru and as a professional to help her discover how that is. And if she's not feeling that way, to guide her in that direction. And what's great is that, you know, I have a salon in New York City, a salon in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and my staff is trained that way to continue that same kind of process. For me, it's really about that.
Well, take us back to before you were a celebrity stylist. Where did it all begin for you?
Oh, wow. Well, I originally from Texas. I say I'm a Texan, but my dad was in the military, so we traveled every 2 or 3 years all around the world. So I lived in Japan, I lived in Hawaii, I've lived in Germany, I've lived in Texas. And anytime we'd go anywhere, we'd always go back to Texas. So I'm an Army brat. And I always knew at an early age that there was something about beauty from all those different cultures that I had the opportunity to travel to, that there was something about beauty that I could find beauty and regardless if you're a size 2 or 12 or 24 or 36, there's always something really beautiful about a woman that I love to bring out.
So was there ever a point in your life where you said, I want a career in hair?
Yeah, I did, but if you had a military father in the Army, you know that wasn't happening.
You weren't going to say that?
That wasn't happening immediately.
So how did you perfect your craft? Were you like the go-to guy with all your friends to, like, you know, hook up the hair?
Not at all. I don't think I touched, my dad would not allow it. So I did not actually touch hair until I was about 22 years old.
Really? So you harbored this secret desire to do hair?
I'm from Texas. We play football in Texas. I was supposed to be, for the Dallas Cowboys, you know, the lineman for the Dallas Cowboys. That was the direction that I was going. I played high school. I was a huge high school athlete, track, football, baseball, and all that.
So when you were growing up, how did that make you feel that you had to hide your true passion and weren't able to be you? You know, you talk about these women being them and really taking on their image with their hair, but for you, you couldn't.
It was hard.
Yeah.
It was really hard. It was difficult. But the thing that I always tell people, regardless if you're a celebrity or not, is to always know that it is possible. Yeah. That, you know, a black kid from Texas, you know, 6'3", 245 pounds. Yeah, I said that, didn't I? 245 pounds, right?
Yeah, of course. You wear it well,
Thank you.
You
245 pounds would charge the highest haircut in the world at $1,200. Wow. Have 2 salons, a product line, hair care line, a cosmetic line. Have worked with, you know, every A-list actress you can think of, that if I can do it, that anybody can do it. Wow. I think it's really just important to know what it is that you want to do and create that for yourself. So because the opportunities are endless.
Wow, so that's an incredible story. Yeah. Who's playing you in the movie?
Did you hear that, Holly? No,
and once you became a celebrity stylist, what did your father say then?
Well, you know what? He was excited when he got a chance to see me on Oprah like 3 times. You know?
He was like, oh, okay,
oh, yeah,
it's okay
that's
now.
A whole nother, you know, because I think that parents don't necessarily understand that as a hairdresser, what that really means. Sometimes people don't, you know, your sister or your mom or your dad or even you may not even really understand the power of what a hairdresser has. And when I talk to hairdressers all the time, I'm like, you guys, you have so much power because you're working with someone, not only you're creating something on their hair that means more to them than anything else, but you're also creating something from the inside.
It's true.
It is, and how you feel, which translates into every aspect of their life, from their husband to their wife. I never hear anybody say they have a bad skin day.
I'm having a bad skin day. Yo, they say I'm having a bad hair day.
Yeah, always.
That's very true.
That's very true.
Always. So I think here, the magnitude of what the transformation can happen for a woman or a man regarding to their hair and beauty is really magnificent.
Now, you mentioned Oprah, but you've appeared on numerous television shows. My mother loves you because she's a faithful viewer of What Not to Wear. And you obviously were a mainstay on the show.
Yes.
That show made you a household name. What was that like for you? Well,
you know, I think the first time that I was on the show, I actually didn't think I was going to go back. Because the woman cried. Ariel is her name. So if Ariel, you're watching, I love you. But from the moment I talked to her to the end of the show, she cried the entire time.
Wow.
And what I discovered from doing What Not to Wear is that women, there's a common thread through women. There's only one thing that they really want. They want to feel desired, they want to be sexy, and they want people to adorn them. So if you guys listening,
why don't people get
you know
that?
what I mean?
I know.
It's really simple. It's a really simple formula. It's a simple formula.
Yeah.
That's
and
all I want, Shannon.
That's all you want.
I'll give it to you every day now, Lola.
I mean, look, gorgeous.
Thank you.
Why wouldn't anyone?
Thank you.
Right?
Thank you, Ted.
It's true. And I think that's the common thread through women. And I think when I got onto the show, What Not to Wear, that really helped me really understand that.
But you were a star
really
before that. What do you consider your big break, and how did you come to work with all these celebrities? All the hairstylists want to work with the people you've worked with.
Well, my big break, I'll tell you the truth. I was doing a lot of editorial for Marie Claire and Glamour and Harper's Bazaar, and I really built a really great reputation in the fashion world. And I was doing a lot of editorial for Marie Claire, and the fashion editor, director at the time, said, "Ted, I have this opportunity." I said, "What?" She said, "Well, I am shooting a cover in London with Patrick Dumas-Chillier." So those of you who don't know Patrick, if you watch the movie Devil Wears Prada, you know she says, "Get me Patrick on the phone." Yeah. That's the Patrick I'm talking about.
Wow.
One of the biggest photographers
in the fashion world. With Patrick Dumas-Chillier, and actually, Cosmo is shooting a cover too. They're doing it all in the same day. We're doing it first, Cosmo doing it second. I don't know if you really want to do it. I'm like, well, who is it? Angelina Jolie.
Oh, excuse me.
You don't know if you want to do that.
But you know what? You have to understand something. As a hairdresser in New York City, a celebrity hairdresser necessarily didn't have the best name.
Oh.
That was for the hairdressers in Los Angeles.
Gotcha.
The hairdressers in New York City were fashion hairdressers. All we did was shows and do campaigns for Saks and Neiman Marcus and all the major designers.
Gotcha.
So when the celebrity piece came in and people were talking about celebrity, that's what it meant. So when she said that, I said, "Oh, okay, I guess."
Yeah, Angelina Jolie. That's a big break.
I guess I can find the time.
Shannon, the hugest break of my career, because I took her, I believe, from the weird girl with the blood around her neck to really the Angelina we know today. So all of that coif, all of the red carpet events, the leather dress, the coat that was the tiger, all of that was me. So
wow, great job.
It changed everything. It not only changed, and the time that I spent was able to be with her, it not only changed her, it also changed me.
In what way?
Well, I think it really helped me understand how, what the trajectory of what I could accomplish as a hairdresser. And, you know, a lot of times hairdressers don't necessarily think that they can, you know, have that $1,200 haircut or
So you keep mentioning that. So it's $1,200 for one of your haircuts.
Skin.
Oh, thank you. You know how to distract me, don't you? Okay, say it again. Thank you. $1,200.
Yes, $1,200.
Wow.
That's how much I charge for a haircut.
$100.
Absolutely.
So can anybody just walk into one of your salons and just get their hair done by you?
Absolutely.
As long as they have $1,200.
Right.
Please, plus tip.
Plus tip.
Yeah, because
What's a tip? What's a standard tip?
20%.
20%. Okay.
Why not?
It's not a bad day.
So that's $240 on top of the $1,200.
But if you think about it, it's an investment. It's an investment
You did that quick.
into your confidence and to the way you look and pursue that energy.
Well, if Shannon is saying that, then you know it's
Really?
worth it.
Thank you, Shannon.
He's very frugal, so
Fiscally conservative.
You might, after that comment that you made earlier, you might have to send your wife to me.
Are you open on Friday? I'll book an appointment.
Oh my God, it's too funny.
Because you might be in the doghouse.
Thanks for bringing that up again,
You're welcome.
Ted. Yeah.
All right. Well, Ted, before Shannon is banished to the doghouse, the Oscars are right around the corner.
Yes, they are.
What can we expect to see? What are you going to be doing? What magic are you making happen on the red carpet?
You.
Come on, just a little something.
I know what the dress is probably going to be. I know if you... Oh.
Come on.
Look,
just give us a secret. Give us the color.
I can't give you anything. I'll lose my job. This is highly confidential.
You have to sign like a waiver?
But this is really highly confidential. I mean, it's a very serious situation when they are looking at 4 and 5 different gowns and trying to pick which designer it's going to be and what shoes you're going to wear and what hairdresser and what makeup artist and what nail person is actually going to be around you that day to get you ready for it. Well, because can you imagine the pressure?
No, I cannot. but
the pressure of getting ready, the pressure of walking out of the hotel,
I'm
getting in
nervous
the car,
just thinking about it.
getting on the red carpet, and all the photographers and all the people around the world that are going to be looking at you and judging you. I can't even imagine the pressure.
Well, I'm sure whatever you do is going to be fabulous.
Yes,
Thank you.
definitely.
Thank you, Shannon.
Thank you so much for being here.
My
Thank
pleasure.
you.
And you're watching Arise Entertainment 360.